So I met this girl yesterday, right? At this like uni function. It was very, very good. We hit it off very, very nicely. It was sort of formal events. It was nice to get to know some new people. Spoke, really hit it off. Eventually, as the night went on, we sort of went together with our friend groups, all hanging out, drinking and all this stuff. Ended up on a rooftop of a nearby building, you know, as the sun's sort of setting down, see the lovely night sky. It all went really well. Then this morning, she sends me a text message. And she's like, hey, you know, it's Thursday. That's the night that uni students tend to go out here in Canberra. And she's like, hey, it was very nice to see you last night. Do you want to go out tonight? I blocked her immediately because if she doesn't know that Thursday night footy is on between the Brisbane Broncos and the Parramatta Eels, chat, God damn it, she ain't the one for me. Hello, everybody. Good to see you here for your Thursday night footy. I am gassed. I want to say thank you, Dean, immediately for the donation. What is the stream? Watching a game? Watching a succulent game of rugby league? Look at this man. He knows his watch-alongs well. And so that I do. Sorry, I don't think that appeared on screen. There you go. You can see it now. Alrighty, let's get straight into the teams because we don't have all that much time until kickoff. And there have been some changes. So the key one was yesterday for the Parramatta Eels. Will Pansini ruled out with a groin injury, apparently. So Jordan Samrani comes in to start in the centres in place of him. I don't give Para much of a chance coming into this game as it is. Given that there's no Pansini, I think that's becomes a much, much even tougher order. I rate Pansini very, very highly. The Broncos side is pretty much intact completely. The forwards named as normal. The bench named as normal. Two sides who did not have the round one that they wanted. Neither of them. Broncos were scoreless. The Parramatta Eels were not much better and defensively were absolute diabolical, to quote that famous little bit of commentary. But here we are. Round two provides an opportunity for redemption. Let's see which one of them takes it. Let's see which players stand up. Looking forward to experiencing it all with you guys. Wise words from the Leaguie. I don't know what part of that you think was wise, brother, but I wouldn't follow any of it. Absolutely none of it if I was you. Alrighty. I'll get the clock set up and we'll be ready to go. It's nice. I like these Thursday streams where it's just one game. It's way better for me. I can sort of be high energy because I know that it's not going to have to last across 6 hours. Anyway. Alrighty. So here come the Parramatta Eels. Out onto Suncorp Stadium in their, I call this the IKEA employee kit. Mostly yellow, little bit of blue. I think it really works in that sense. I, by the way, just pre-stream fixed a couple of the sounds that play. So hopefully we won't have as many issues with certain sounds being louder than others, but we will see. How are you, Leaguie? I'm doing very well, Danny. I'm doing very well. I've sort of rested, like half rested over the last couple days. Had a lot to do. Hoping to have a bit more free time on the weekend. I got some exciting news as well. Bloke in a bar wise, might be a regular appearance on Packer Up Boys, which is exciting. Could have started tomorrow, but just too busy. But we'll start next week. So yeah. Damn, have they always had that walk up for the Broncos in the tunnel? That's sort of ANZ-esque. You know, the New South Wales Blues have their one. Very reminiscent of that. For the first and last time, come on, Para. I mean, I think the neutral is going for Parramatta. Unfortunately, you guys don't think Parramatta will win. After 32 votes on the YouTube poll, 81% reckon Broncos, the Brisbane Broncos, are going to get the win in this one. And I'm inclined to agree. You know, the Premier's got an absolute wake-up call in round one at the hands of the ex-four-time Premiers. A bit of a reality check, given that it's yet another home game against a side who themselves had a bit of a shellacking, and I don't think really have the quality that the Brisbane Broncos do.
Hey,
could be a tough one.
A thing.
No way.
Silas Kinski just redeemed, changed the background color. Switch off the lights.
You know, switch off actually isn't one I've ever had before. So that's interesting. But I will. Let's see. That one's gone. I mean, I hope you're happy. That applies for the next 5 minutes. I hope this is everything you hoped for and more. So I highly doubt it will be. That I will say. I highly doubt it will be. But anyway. Danny says, I've got beef with Para. I hate them, and they're going to lose by 70. 70 is... That's egregious. 70s, that's diabolical. All right. There's the kickoff if you want to sync up with me. I got to say, we've just got our first real shot of the crowd that's there today. And I mean, I know that they lost rather comprehensively last week, but I would have thought, you know, Thursday night we might get a... I guess Thursday's not ideal, but still, we might get a better crowd up there. Like, did you actually pull someone but then dump the due to not knowing the NRL? I refuse to divulge my secrets. Let's just say it's neither completely true nor untrue. Let's put it that way. I'll just leave it at that. Oh, let me lower that music volume, actually. It's a bit loud. The scoreboard's now black. Yes, that's true. So there's been a... So this is on Fox, by the way. The scoreboard is black. Speaking of Fox, Adocast, I got the ball. Yeah, there's been a lot of feedback over the last week from colorblind people who said that they've struggled to read the new scoreboard, and I get that. The contrast on both Newcastle and South Sydney in particular was awful. So I think that this is a positive change. Bilge Minna says, I can't believe Denenkamp actually played footy. I thought he was some podcaster nerd. Nah, he was a very good player. A very good player. He didn't get the opportunities that he possibly deserved. Anyway, timer should be going, so I don't know why it's not there. There we go. We've got it. All right, I'll commentate the game a little bit. Parramatta on the last here from the 40. Mitch Moses does a kick. Underneath this one will be Reece Walsh. There's a lot expected actually from those two players tonight, and I think they're going to really dictate the way this game goes. That's high from Kalma to Alangi. They had a sin bin their first defensive set last week. This is another very early one, but anyway, it will just be penalty sufficient is the ruling. Let's see what Kalma did. Yeah, it was a bit of a slap. Is high contact, but I agree, definitely no sin bin. So, yeah, Kieran Foran spoke pre-game about the need for Mitch Moses to really dictate this game, and I very much agree, and I said it in my latest video, that my concern with Parramatta is largely around their spine. Hang on, let me just... No, that light's better that way. It looks really bad, the lighting, without the backlights on. Anyway. Craig, I'm sorry, I cannot stream for you to watch in PNG. It's available on free-to-air, Channel 9. If you use a VPN, sign into 9 now, you can watch this for free. Yeah. The spine for Parramatta isn't very strong. There's not a lot of experience in any key positions except 7. So, up against a spine that I think is probably one of the best in the comp, especially once Ben Hunt comes in to play in that 9 position. It's on Moses. It's on Moses today, so we'll see how he goes. All right, Walsh with the ball in his hands on the 4, stepping across the field. Does get an offload away. Back to Corey Pace. Running himself there. Saw a bit of a gap between DeBellin and Smith, but that's shot very quickly. On the last here, Reynolds will put a little chip over the top. I think that'll go dead. No, it bounces beautifully. That bounced really, really well. I thought it was weighted too heavy, but Bailey Simonson will be taken dead there. So it'll be a goal line dropout. Dean says, I don't know what's happening. It's on pause from when my donate came on screen. I'm at RCIA, so I'll catch up real soon. Well, I hope it's a problem with your connection and not mine. Mine seems okay. At League, you want to make a bet for tomorrow like last year? Well, you didn't want to adhere to the terms of the bet last year, Chico. We kind of had to force you to. But what did you have in mind? I got to say, I'm a lot less confident about winning tomorrow's game than I was about winning last year's game. So, will the NRL lose any more players to Union before the Union World Cup? Those stories have been around, but a lot of the contracts are now locked up, so I don't believe in it quite as much. JD, thank you for the follow on Twitch, as well as Krieg, I missed earlier. My bad. Set restart there. So Reynolds with the ball in his hands finds Piakura. Oh, sorry, Ricky underneath it. Is Ricky wearing headgear now? Is that a new thing, or have I just been completely oblivious to that in the past? Reynolds, that's a deep ball to find Walsh. Does a dummy. He's through, and Reece Walsh is going to score the first try of this game. And I've got to say, that looked way too easy. That wasn't encouraging signs. Parramatta laid in a lot of very, very easy tries last week. Very easy tries. And that one, that was just as bad as any of them. Walsh got it. It was they had the numbers, but a dummy got inside Moses, and really the fullback coverage there was not on whatsoever. There we go. Yeah, it was very, very poor there. And for Walsh to go over essentially untouched there, I mean, Moses really didn't do much to counter it. So early on in the game, where you psychologically should be so up for it as a Parramatta Eels player, that's a terrible sign, frankly. That's a terrible sign. How much is your phone? I'm still rocking the S10 Plus. I want to upgrade. To be honest, I cannot remember. I'm really bad at remembering prices of these things. I tend to save up the amount of money I need, spend it, and then do my best to forget how much money I wasted on it. So, yeah, but look, I to be honest, okay, so I've got a S25, I think. I wouldn't recommend it. I've had a number of problems with it. It's got a good camera that I don't use. So, yeah, I think it's fine. Can Broncos miss the conversion? Well, no, not anymore. They've hit it, and it was right underneath the post. Yeah, Kelma Tuilagi, he did create a little bit of a gap, which Walsh was able to go through, but still Moses was beaten one-on-one very, very easily there. Jerry, no, I cannot. Hasman says, reminder, the Broncos are the only team who played in round 1 to score their first try in round 2. That's a good point. That's a good point. I've just noticed that the stream is called Saturday Night Footy on Twitch. It is, of course, not Saturday. Did anyone see what Reese had written on his wrist? No, but I'll keep an eye out for that now. It brings me so much joy watching Kalmer and Moses getting cooked. 2 ex-Tigers, for those of you who don't get that reference. So Jordan Ricky now up over the 20. That's a decent tackle. On the third here, they haven't made a heap of ground. It's been a solid defensive set so far from Parramatta. Although I will say, in Suncorp, the camera angle is so high, so often looking down, it looks like they're making less ground. But anyway. Man, you need to buy the rights at this point. The rights to broadcast the game? I wish I could. I wish I could. It says Fulton IKEA employee. That's a Kane Evans reference. That's a long time ago. There's a lot of people in chat who wouldn't get that reference. Shout out Kane Evans. I think he went to play for Hull FC. I think he's retired now. Anyway. All right, offload out the back, or maybe it was just a lost ball. But anyway, it was backwards. On the third, Parramatta still have the ball. Riley Smith then a dummy half. Gives it to the left-hand side. Run from Simonson, who I heard from a Parramatta fan earlier in the week that he rates Simonson very highly. I personally don't see it as much. Solid winger, nothing more than that, but we'll see what he's able to do this season very, very early in the year. Riley Smith now gives it to Moses. Had a bit of space and time there, so that was good, but gotta say, I think it's an obvious target if I'm Brisbane. Although, that said, Jonah Pezzett, solid half. Very solid half. He's got ability in him and, of course, is signed to play for Broncos next season to partner Ezra Mann in the half. So, yeah. Tigers and Broncos are going to be the only teams that will score for the first time in round 2. Yeah, true. True. Danny says, I like Simonson, but not that much. He's like, okay. I don't like saying this because I don't like drawing attention to players that aren't as good, you know, and highlighting the fact that they aren't as good. However, I think if you ranked all the wingers in the Premiership, so what, there's 17 teams, 34 starting wingers, I think it'd probably be in spots 30 onwards. So that's the reality. It's more to do with how good all the other wingers in the comp are, that a guy like that can stand out a little bit. Anyway, 6 more for Para here. They've done decently well with a couple of good defensive sets. Geez, completions is 7 out of 7 for Broncos, only 2 out of 2 for Para. So they're just really being starved of possession, but they're now up to the halfway line. Solid field position here. Massey Clear, well, he's playing in the centers, isn't he? Unless they've changed that up, but I think on Tuesday that was listed as him being in the centers, which I thought was weird. No Stafford Toa, but apparently Luke Lololi'i did very, very well. Was it Luke or Kit? No, I think it's Luke. Did really well in the preseason. I get them confused. Up the milk. Sorry I missed this earlier. He said, Leaguie, my fault for cross-dressing, rizzing you up, and then asking you to test you on whether or not you were going to be loyal to the Leaguian. I've never seen a fan use the word Leaguian before. Thank you. I am glad you passed, Spooky Bear. Unblock me, please. I need you. Never. We'll never unblock you. It was a kick over the top there from Para. Walsh, again, contacted a little bit high there. But Walsh gets it up to over the 20 there. So it was good play there from the fullback. Good sweeping play to clean up on that little kick there. But I don't mind the fact that Parramatta are chancing their arm with a kick like that. Moses, a bit off the cuff. Yeah, it was a grubber. I think he dropped it cleanly, actually. Thomas injured. Okay, that would make a bit more sense then.
Hey, Leaguie, someone just redeemed a thing.
No way.
Rugby02 just redeemed head dent check.
All right, I'm going to do it this way, so I'm facing the microphone. How does that look? I can't see it, so you're going to have to comment. That's away from my own camera. Oh, Haas offload now to find Adam Reynolds off the back of a 6 again. I still don't know whether he's Payne or Hakeem. I keep thinking I should ask Denon to ask Payne, because I feel like that I can do. Or ask Hakeem, or whatever. Anyway, I'll talk about that more later, actually. Reynolds on the second, across the 5, Walsh at the back. Ball plays out the back to find his back row of Jack Gajewski, tackled very well there by Jordan Samarani. Member of the Beat Club, very much so. Very much so. Luke's the back, hits the forward. That is what I thought. That was nothing? Really? Yeah, sorry. No head dent check. Yeah, I got a refund. There's no head dent. Oh, kick it behind from Reynolds. Broncos are in again. That, again, was easy. And they go up with these ones as much as I kind of... That celebration shits me because it's just so annoying. They're celebrating, and they didn't get a chance to celebrate last week, so that I don't mind. Yeah, the defensive line was completely broken, and once again, a try where the fullback is not in the frame. Not in the frame at all. I know it's difficult for anyone to cover all that space when a kick in behind happens like that, but yeah, there just wasn't the coverage there. It was obvious that was the play there from Reynolds, and easily done. Easily done. Rugby02, to be fair, we've had some diabolical hair dents. Not head dents. But anyway, I did just have a shower before, so my hair's kind of, damp and flat, so I think that's sort of why. There are more viewers on Twitch. Crazy. Well, that's...
Hey, someone just redeemed
that is rare. Oh.
Up the milk 1982 just redeemed change the background color. If you can change them individually yellow and blue, if you can pure blue, please Pookie Bear up the Eels para finally Matar.
I'm trying to think of the combination. That's yellow at the back and blue at the top. That's... Neither look good. Actually, both of them look pretty terrible. No, okay. I think this one's a bit more obvious. So we'll do this. It looks very Cowboys, not very Eels. But anyway. They'll tell me they'll concede 52 weeks in a row. Look, it's early days, but it doesn't look good. Let's put it that way. As Reynolds gets the kick. On the note of the Hakeem Haas thing, so... I said, I referred to him as Hakeem Haas in my latest video, and someone left a comment saying, don't ever refer to him as Hakeem Haas again. Don't indulge these people. If you do it one more time, I'm unsubscribing. Oh no! How's my channel gonna continue without you, one subscriber? No, I'll keep calling him what he wants to be called. I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm not giving into someone who doesn't want me giving into these people, whatever that means. So I found that really funny that this guy was like, yes, this YouTuber has 11,000 subscribers, but he'll care about my one. I could dictate his behavior with my one subscription. Good stuff. Congrats on 11k. Thank you, Tiger. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, Reynolds with a dummy, and he's through. He's got support with Staggs. Staggs now has the ball. One-on-one with the fullback. That's a good tackle there from Young. He tries to quick play the ball. Does eventually get it. Anyway, they're trying to spread it now to the other side. No, Haas will just run midfield. Gets an offload to Pakes. They go back the original way. Yeah, Para looking a little bit diabolical at the moment. Just a little bit. These people is feeling very yucky. It is. Look. You want to give something like that the benefit of the doubt, but really, no. I think we all know what he means. Well, Shibasaki with a bit of a juggle. That's all okay. Moses isn't happy about it. But anyway, I don't think that was touch. Walsh has it on the last. Massive kick across field. Oh, there's a lot of space out there. Tap back by Staggs. Back row has got it. I think Ricky has scored this. Let's see. It was a weird one. No, Para celebrating. So actually, and Wyatt Raymond thinks it's a no try. We'll see. Fazy, it's free to wear, so you should be able to get it with a VPN at least if you're not in Australia. I thought for sure that Ricky was going to get this to the line. He doesn't seem to think so, Jordan. I think Katoni goes up with 2 hands, you reckon? No, all right. I thought the Nwangani Tawase rule was... no, I guess he does. He does. Eels just can't contain them? Yeah, no. They cannot. But, geez, you think Ricky getting the ball here should score. The bounce wasn't brilliant. Eels saved the try. Kind of looks like it. Let's see. Ricky's got the ball here. One-on-one with Pez. He burrows low. He burrows low. Oh, yes, it has dropped it. That's an absolute try saver. Brilliant effort there from Parramatta. That's a brilliant effort from Parramatta. Smart guy just texted me he's at the game. Oh, that's cool. Has Payne scored? No. It was going to be Jordan Ricky, but no. All right, so it's going to be knock on Para. So Broncos will still get the ball back. Far from the worst result for the Broncos, but anyway. Yeah, I'm very much not happy with my prediction anymore of Para ahead of the Warriors, but we'll see. We'll see how the year goes. Hello, Highlanders. Hasmet says, I forgot about the 2 hands rule to the old Guther fucking Reno. Yeah, that's my quote. That's a good dropout there. Hakeem Haas has got it now. Back behind the halfway line. Now another 6 more. I mean, it's on the start of the tackle count anyway, so that's an intentional one to have given away. But it's all Broncos. It really is all Broncos at this point. Pakes, find Mam, now underneath Jack Gajewski. Tiger says, I put Para ahead of my team, by the way. Yeah, that's... Look, even if they get destroyed in this game, it's round 2. So, like, I still don't really care. It counts for something, but it doesn't count for as much as we like to say. You should do a 6 again sound. It's occurred to me before, but I feel like we already hear the sound on the commentary. So, yeah. All right, Pakes. Oh, that was a voice crack. To the left-hand side, Carrigan. Now Reynolds. They've got numbers here. Ball finds the ground, though. That attacking play comes to an end. Karapani now crabbing across the field. He's done well there. They've got 1 more here, the Broncos. All right, Pakes. Across the fight, Carrigan. They're spreading it to the right-hand side. Walsh will put a kick in behind. Not exactly as telegraphed as the one last set. Oh, the bounce was a little dangerous there for Parramatta, but they forced another dropout. Logila, nope. That's illegal. Up the Milk says the Guther effing Reno should be enforced more when Eels are playing. That's where it's from. That, you know what? True. True. It's sort of well, it's a Gutho trademark, to be fair, but it's in some respects a Para trademark. I'll give you that. Iongi's having a disaster class. He's going... He's had a couple of good moments. That moment was dangerous, but yeah, the 2 tries, I mean, he should have been more in the picture. I don't think he would have stopped either of them, so it doesn't really matter. But he should have been more in the picture. Rugby02 says, how much money to show the game? I was blocked on Twitch. None. No amount of money. I value my channel. Actually, that's not true, but like an egregious amount of money. All right, Walsh. Stepping around. Oh, geez, he still managed to break the tackle of Moses there. That's brilliant. Is that Nyongi or the coaching? I think it's on Nyongi. I think it's on Nyongi. I don't think the coaching would tell him to not be in position there. Anyway. On the 4th here, they're right on the attacking line here, the Broncos. Reynolds, oh, that play didn't quite work out for him. Eventually took the tackle. So Reynolds will not have the ball on the last. Walsh gets it. Oh, cutout pass. Gets Tony Staggs one-on-one. Finds the ground here, Staggs. Will he put a kick in? He does. Be chased through here by Shibasaki. Tap back. No, and that's gone dead. So, you know what? Good work there from Parramatta to survive that. That was a lot of consecutive sets off dropouts through an attacking raid. And they turned the Broncos away time after time. That's good going. Hasman says, I thought Kafusi was with the Eels for a second. It's just Bolo's haircut. Kafusi, did he play round 1 for Dolphins? I don't think he did. He's probably not in their best 17 anymore, which is kind of crazy. Iconic says, serious question. Payne Haas, Jack Buchanan, or Toka Licky Licky? Toka Licky Licky, bro. No one Licky Licky's like Licky Licky, all right? Haas couldn't Licky Licky like Licky Licky Licks Licky. Fundamentally speaking. So, I think the debate ends at that point. Penalty Para. High contact rules Wyatt Raymond. As it says, in my English class, we were doing poems, and I did one called Ayadi Para, or F you Para in Arabic. It turns out my English teacher was a lebo from Para, so I got 3 days attention, but it was worth it. Yeah, that's just... You talk about risk reward. That's just not a good decision, fundamentally speaking. But anyway, sure. I mean, if you feel it was worth it for you, I'm glad it was. Are you streaming Roosters v Rabbitohs? So you won't get fined and banned for a year when we swarm. I am streaming Roosters and Rabbitohs, but no, I couldn't be there anyway. Kalma with a bit of a half break. I think he's going to score here. I tell you what, that's out of nothing. That's out of absolutely nothing. Kalma Tuolangi's capable of coming out with moments like that, and he just has. Damn. That really is out of absolutely nothing. They shift the ball here. Moses finds Kalma, just easy through, beats Walsh. And Broncos players did get across Shibasaki and Pakes, but not in enough time. It was just a regulation hit up, really. Kalma straight through the line. The defense so far in this game, initially I thought mostly from Parramatta, but now for the Broncos on that try, yeah, little bit, I mean, low-key.
He's trash.
I'm just saying, like, very much so.
He's trash.
He's trash. So, yeah. Great tackle, Walsh. Look, I don't think there's many fullbacks in the comp that could stop a rampaging Kalma like that. I don't blame Walshy for that tackle. I blame the 2 players he went through on the line. I think Mann was one of them. Kashevsky probably the other. That was poor. Let's see here. Yeah, it's Mann and I think that, yeah, is Jack Kashevsky. It's easy. Very easy. Ricky, just a reminder, please don't spam the YouTube chat. So, look, Rugby League, you could have a moment like that just gets you right back into the game, and Para have been absolutely nowhere throughout this entire thing. But all of a sudden, they're only 1 converted try behind here. Long way to go in this game. Very long way to go in this game. We're not even a quarter of the way through it. Iconic says, imagine if AJ breaks the record tomorrow and the field is invaded, but then after they get everyone off the field, it's disallowed. Look, okay, I want to make something clear as a Roosters fan. If AJ breaks the record tomorrow, I want to see that imagery. I'm not encouraging you to commit any illegal acts. All right, I'm not saying you should. I'm saying me personally, I want to see that imagery. I think it would be historic. And frankly, although the decision makers have access to a lot more information than I do about, say, the condition of the ground, whatever, player safety, all that, I think we're robbing ourselves of incredibly marketable footage. Incredibly marketable footage that would potentially go globally viral. As a content creator, I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot by not allowing for a moment like that. I have my suspicions that the NRL, because they haven't been too vocal about it, are kind of covering their bases by being like, oh yeah, don't run on the field. Don't do it. We don't want you to do it. It's illegal. If you know what I mean. Can Eels score again? Would be nice for you, George. That's for sure. Para now with the kick on the last. It was Mitch Moses to find the wing of Karapani in the bright pink boots. My dad always mentions bright pink boots. Back in his day, it was always the black boots, and then you had Graham Langlands? Yeah. With his white boots, Changa Langlands, that one day in that grand final. And everyone blew up. And now everyone wears hot pink boots. Penalty there for the Brisbane Broncos off a dominant tackle there by the Parramatta Eels. And every single time Para do anything, the camera is just focused on Moses. It's the Mitch Moses show at the moment. Right, AJ himself has said they can't find everyone. Even he's endorsing it like, come on. I don't get the they can't find everyone argument. Because I think they probably can. Well, they have records of all the information of everyone that bought a ticket. I guess they probably wouldn't find everyone, is what I mean. But yeah. NRL will 1000% use the footage if it happens. Yeah, I will certainly like Fox and 9 would. Yeah, NRL still probably would, so. Anyway, Stags. He's been one-on-one with Russell at a lot of different points in this game so far. Russell doing okay. Russell's doing all right. Walsh now, across to find Hakeem Haas. Gets an offload away. It sort of hangs in the air, but Pakes has got it. Reynolds was trying to go across to Katoni Staggs' edge, but Staggs was getting his boot back on, so eventually just had to find Ricky underneath. 2 more to go here. Pakes. Hands to Reynolds. They're spreading it to the left-hand side here now. Man, deep into the line. Walsh gets it. Dummies goes himself, eventually finds the ground. Played here by Walsh. Shibasaki now gives it to Mam on the last. So they've had a lot of different kickers on the last tackle here. Tries to find Staggs. It's up in the air. Mam has come through and grounded this, but I reckon it was a Broncos knock-on to start with. So I'm not celebrating just yet. And Wyatt Raymond agrees. Tiger says, what was your least favorite grand final? I didn't enjoy 2022. I was there. I mean, it was a pretty dull one. I mean, obviously 2014 wasn't great for obvious reasons, but I haven't really had many issues with grand finals. I think 2022 was a bit of a stinker in the end. Let's see. Okay, so at worst here, this will be a penalty for the Broncos. Just got to see if that's come forward off Russell. Oh, I guess the ball still... It continues to travel backwards, so I guess it's back off Russell or forward off Staggs. But Staggs is very much angled backwards. Did Broncos score a try? We're reviewing. Oh, I don't like this second hand up for the rule. Due to the escort, Staggs can't get his second hand up, and therefore it's okay. Sorry, what? That feels like such a grey area. Okay. So that's ruled a knock on Brisbane. That's a huge grey area. If we can rule on a player not going up with 2 hands, but he couldn't go up with 2 hands because of reasons outside of his control. And what is going up with 2 hands? Is this going up with 2 hands? Is like, where's the angle that you need? Doesn't seem very well thought through, I've got to say. But anyway, it's a penalty to Brisbane, and they're going to take the 2 for an escort. Just give them the try if that's the case. Well, they then ruled knock on off Katoni. So, yeah, it's not a try. But yeah, I find it weird. No try, are you sure? Yes, I am very, very sure. Who's the biggest crybaby in NRL history, in your opinion? I'd take Gutherino. I mean, NRL history is a very, very long time. We had Corey Horsburgh literally cry coming off the field once. So that's going to take some beating, I will admit. But no, I don't think you can be a crybaby and get into the NRL. You have to be incredibly tough to do that. Even to play one game, you have to have mental resilience beyond what mere mortals like you and I could understand. So, yeah, I don't think it's fair to label any of them like that. Will Bronx miss? No, sir. They will not. Hasman said, I asked a mate at uni today about his thoughts on storming the field. He said he wants it to happen, otherwise we look less cool than AFL, who did it for Buddy Franklin's 1000th goal. Yep. And that imagery did go viral. I have the most echo-chambered, siloed NRL algorithm you could possibly imagine, and even my feed was covered in it when that happened. So, we're shooting ourselves in the foot, but I understand completely if the NRL feel that they cannot encourage their fans legally to storm the field. So maybe they're just saying what they need to say to cover their asses legally, but they do want it to happen. That's kind of what I suspect. All right, kick from Walsh. It's from well inside the 30. It had enough length for a 40-20, hell of a 30-20 even, but Iongi was there. Kinski or Jorgensen? The real questions. No, I'm still taking Jorgensen. I'm still taking Philip Jorgensen. These are 2 goalkeepers, by the way, who've had stinkers in the Champions League over the last couple of days. To be fair, when Corey cried he was a victim of a hip drop and went on to miss the next 12 weeks or so with injury. I'm not saying it wasn't justified. I'm just pointing out that little piece of NRL history. All right, knock on there from Parramatta. Staggs has got it. Did a little bit of a goosey there. A little bit of a knees up in the air, the old Joseph Suoli'i. But anyway, it's okay in the end. Reynolds now across to find Jordan Ricky in the attacking 40 on the first. Okay, I'll bite. Thoughts on Billy Smith's injury? Man, it's... we're already missing Well, we were missing 3 Origin players last week, which, Warriors were missing, I think, equally important players in Metcalf and Barnett, so, yeah. But it sucks. I think Billy Smith is such a good center. Speaking of good ball-running centers, a certain front rower can run like a center. His name's Hakeem Haas, and he's just scored for Brisbane. No, that's the wrong animation. That is the wrong animation. Not a sin bin, a try. Y is next to T on my keyboard, so that's what happened here. Knock on there from Parramatta. Jason Riles does the, oh no. Oh, Maron. And then as they shift, oh, it's a lovely little bit of ball playing there. Carrigan close to the line. Oh, the link, man. I love when a lock does a line break assist. And that's exactly what that was. Carrigan attracts Katonga just right, gives it to Harson. Easy to the line. They were saying on levels today that the AFL had the same don't storm the field agenda in the media. Before the buddy thing, they have to cover themselves. Yep, makes sense. What I'm upset about is that it's going to happen against us because it's going to look bad for us, but it is very, very good for the game in the sense that the crowd tomorrow is going to be huge. And so it's not going to be, 10,000 people out on a cold night at Accor Stadium. It's going to be 30,000 at Allianz. Well, faster than the F1 Haas. Yeah, that's not the highest bar, to be fair, but technically, yes. Reynolds with a kick. I mean, up the milk, I hope AJ doesn't score tomorrow. I hope none of the Rabbitohs score tomorrow. And I hope it's a bit of a distraction for South. I don't think it will be, but I hope that they get to a point where, they start thinking about trying to get him those tries and it distracts him from the main objective of winning the game. We'll see. We need all the help we can get tomorrow. I'm not very confident. So we'll see. I cannot believe we started the week as favorites and have only narrowed in our odds. That's insane to me. But anyway. Chaliards? Yeah, nah. He's actually been sin binned at Allianz more times than he's won at Allianz. So, yeah. We'll see. As it says, I could almost say, wallahi, the crowd storm the field if he scores tomorrow. Well, maybe. We'll see. He does need 2 tries, right? It's one to... This is the thing. Do you storm it on the leveler or the breaker? I would go the breaker, but I wonder if there's people who are going to storm it on the leveler and then you have this half-baked reaction. Twalians I can get behind. We've got a Brisbane Bronco down here. I think it's Gajewski. I think it's been a head clash. Sumi says, agree, I'm a neutral, but can't see how the Roosters are favourites. Yeah, it's surprising to me. Yeah, it's a head clash with Jack Williams. Look, I think that naturally, you have a bit of pessimism about your own team. You focus more on its vulnerabilities. And I know Souths have vulnerabilities themselves, but they really seem to click, and their left edge is potent, and our right edge defense is not. And no Billy Smith, is... Sorry, they just mentioned him in commentary. It's weird that they mentioned that as soon as I did. Obviously, that's because I said it and they're watching the stream. But yeah, he was so good last week, Billy Smith. He's a very, very underrated player. He did say earlier today, quote, I'm completely fine. But Fox are reporting that he's out. Have we got updated sites? I guess we would by this point. Yeah, he's out. Damn it. He's actually out. It's funny, coming to this season, if Junior Ponga came into our backline anywhere, I would have been like, yeah, that's fine. He's solid. We'll get the job done. He then stunk it up in a trial against the Eels, and then stunk it up, frankly, again last week. And all of a sudden, I'm terrified. And I'm like, he's a liability. But anyway. What's this obsession with field storming? So, there's a player for the Rabbitohs who tomorrow, if he scores 2 tries... will break the all-time record for most tries scored by a first-grade rugby league player in Australia. So it's a big, big deal. And there's been rumors that the fans will storm the field once that is scored. So, yeah. Also, Leaguie, can we say F1 spoilers yet? Yes, you can, although I've actually noticed for Saturday's stream, it's going to take place during qualifying. So there's going to be live Formula 1 happening, which I'm going to have to try and avoid. And then Sunday, I actually have to change the thumbnail. I'm going to have to cut it short because at 6, the Formula 1 starts and I need to run that event. So I can kind of do like the first game and then the first half of the second game, and then I'm going to have to leave. So I think that's probably what I'll do. Does Storm have a chance against Dragons? Nah, bro. Dragons going to dominate. Easy. Easy. All right. Para on their 40 here. Simonson up close to the halfway line. A little bit short of it, though. And that'll be the 4th. Riley Smith now. Dylan Walker's onto the field. So his ball playing has been very effective through the middle. Why is there no sound for the donation? You know what? Oh, no, I don't have it. I don't have it on the soundbite. Anyway, that's why you get the big bucks, baby. That's why you get the big bucks. Dean donates $8 saying, sorry, Dylan, you asked for this. Don't deny it. What happened so far? I did not ask for it. I am going to deny it. What happened so far is pretty much Brisbane Broncos dominations. Hello, Richard Matthews. Good to see you here. Noah says, not gonna lie, bro, I might have skipped school to watch your videos. Good. They're vastly more educational than anything you could possibly learn at school. Unless you're in PE and your PE teacher knows a lot about rugby league. You aren't streaming Saturday? Oh, yeah, true. Good point. Wait, why am I not streaming? Oh, yeah. I know why I'm not streaming on Saturday. Good point. Well, anyway, it remains true for Sunday. I love how Tiger Walker knows that and I don't. My schedule's a little all over the place. All right. As a Roosters. On the 40, Pakes on the last, finds Adam Reynolds. It's from inside the 40. It's angled all right, but no, Adokar has that covered very easily, and I think it did come a little bit off the left, the inside, I guess, of the boot, rather than going towards the sideline. Still, though, Adokar forced backwards to nearly his 20. He's not happy there with that contact as Para run it up to the 30. That's cool, Danny. Yeah, look, Cowboys and Tigers at Leichhardt, it's always something special. I know what it is between those two sides lately, but some weird stuff always happens. So I'm sure you'll enjoy that game. I'm sure you will. Jack Gronkowski, HIA. I don't think Gronkowski is actually his name, but I've never made that connection before, and I like it. I like it. Two sporting goats. All right, set restart. So Eels with a bit of rare attacking ball here with 10 minutes left to go in this half. Riley Smith then at dummy half now. He's got Pezzett there. So it's not Pezzett, it's Dory. How on earth did I confuse Pezzett for Dory? Both have a 6 on their back. Now Pezzett's got it. Deep to find Nyongi. There's a bit of space in front of him. He gets a half break. Tackled there by Walsh and Reynolds. 2 more to go here. So Walsh will be out of play. Caught out marker. Potentially kicking behind coming. Yes, Pezzett goes for it himself. It's knocked back. Riley Smith will score here. Parramatta have had 2 chances in this game. And out of absolutely nothing, they've scored on both. Frankly, they've shitposted 2 tries. Yeah, not so much today. If you want to see some very, very off-the-cuff try scoring, then come and see the Eels. I did mention Walsh would be out of play there, and Pezzett identified it. Did a kick it behind for himself. Haas just couldn't clean up that ball, and Riley Smith was the man on the spot. Had a dummy half chasing that through. It was good work from him because the rest of the Eels side, I got to say, were not attuned to that play at all. They were not. They did not expect the kick. Pezzett went for it himself. So it's going to be 20 points to 12 here. Para's still in this game. Let me have a look at I have a feeling that the field position stats. You know what? Fox has it at 52% to 48. I'm not sure that I believe that so much. A lot of their stats are a bit dodgy, but anyway. That's what they've got it as, but certainly the Broncos have had the much better attacking ball. Tackled in opposition 20 is 12-1. That's probably more the stat that I'm vibing there. Moses with a kick from in front. He's got it. So 20 points to 12, it will be. 8 points in it with 8.5 minutes left to go in this first half. I tell you what, if Parra can get one more try before halftime and go in 20-18, Broncos are going to be like, what the hell has just happened? Pezzett was watching the stream. Oh, clearly. I mean, look, he's got a bit to focus on in this game, but nothing can be more important than watching my personal rugby league analysis. It is top tier, as we know. You should watch the 2010 NRL Grand Final. I have watched the 2010 NRL Grand Final. I watched it live. I wasn't there, but I watched it live, I remember. I watched that game on the free Wi-Fi of a monkey park in Stoke-on-Trent in England. True story. The first grand final my team played in my lifetime. Oh, it's Broncos kick out on the full there. Interesting. So crucial error. Yeah, I watched it from a monkey park. Crazy. Penalty Para. Dean says you should watch the 1999 Grand Final. That I haven't watched. Every off-season, I'm like, I'm going to watch all the old Grand Finals. Because, like, I'm sure that the history there is important to know. And then I just don't. I don't know why. Every year goes by and I don't end up watching them. So, Leaguie, do you think that there's a... Sorry, Leaguie, do you think there's any hope for us winning this? Yeah. Look, there has... Based on the evidence of this half, where you've been pretty terrible... Absolutely dominated in field position and possession, and yet you're only just over a converted try behind. You've had literally 2 attacking chances, and you've scored both of them. You have to say there's a chance. I don't think you'll win, but you have to say that there's a chance. Richard, yeah, that's commitment, especially because there'd be some leaky game streams in there, so that's crazy commitment from you. That's great work. All right. Played there by Paris. Smith, across to find Dylan Walker now. Peasant, short ball. Kalma through. Kalma's got his second. Parramatta. Where has this come from? Mate. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. And Cooper Cronk rightly points out here how bad the goal line defense of Brisbane has been. I mentioned in my latest video the fatigue they might just be suffering there. Ezra Mam, made a decision to come in there on Peasant. See that celebration from Peasant in the background. That's good stuff. The goal line defense has really not been there. It's pretty much been non-existent from Brisbane. Look, Richard, I believe you. I believe you. I still wouldn't be tipping Para. But they're doing what they need to do with their attacking ball. Harp Drinker, that's a good name. I'm a lifelong Irish Union fan who was recently converted to League. Planning on going to Oz to catch an NRL game. Who has the best atmosphere in the NRL? Well, it's funny. I would argue the best atmosphere in the NRL is not in Australia. I'd say it's the New Zealand Warriors. They set up pretty much every home game. It's incredible over there. If you are intent on coming to Australia, look, you could do a lot worse than the Brisbane Broncos in this game. Look, it's not a sellout crowd, but they do always attract very, very well. Aside from that, you're looking at maybe in Newcastle. I think they've got really, really good fans as well. But I don't think, as most of them, that's a bad miss. I don't think as an Irish Union fan, you will find comparable atmosphere. And it's not so much a rugby league thing as it is Australian sports. We don't really do the chants. We don't do the celebrations as much. I don't know what it is. That part of British culture... Oh, I know Ireland's not part of Britain, but okay, let's say the culture from that part of the world didn't make its way to Australia for some reason. So yeah. But I hope you enjoy rugby league. And I now realize that Harp Drinker would be a Guinness reference because the Guinness logo is a harp, so that makes sense. Kickoff there from Brisbane. If Cowboys sack Payton, I could see Brad Thorne getting the best out of our guys like Dearden and Neem. Has he coached? Is that bad ball knowledge from me? I reckon, though... Oh, it's Parramatta get a penalty here. I reckon Dean Young would probably be the go. Former assistant under Payton. Current assistant coach is regarded very, very highly. I think he'd probably be the next man up in that position. Hasman, what are you doing at Leica? That's going to be cool. Do you think the Rays have a chance against the Warriors or the Raiders after a tight game against Manly? Yeah, I'd probably tip Canberra. Foxcom Spy, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. George, I don't have a DVD player. So as much as I appreciate the notion of that, I couldn't play the DVDs anyway. But I hope you enjoy them. So, on the fourth here, 4.5 minutes left to go. Moses with it. No way could they take the lead. They've got a 3-on-2 here. Iongi's through. He's got there. What the actual hell? Vossi says water has turned into wine. I need to note that down. That's a soundbite. What the hell? Chat, I don't know if I'm like somehow resistant to giving Parramatta the credit that they deserve, but I would say at this point, still, they have shit posted 4 tries. They have. They completely have. It's insane. Sorry, I'm noting down, Vossi, Water to Wine, Broncos, Eels. That's crazy. That's crazy. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Dean is cheer 10 bits. Say Jesus turned water into wine, but Vossi turned this game into wine. I think that's more Michael Ennis. But yes. Opinion on AFL. It's not a bad sport. I don't personally enjoy it. Anyway, near as much as I enjoy other sports. And being such a massive rugby league fan, it's the natural rival. Or at least within Australia. And so I enjoy seeing the NRL do well instead of the AFL. I enjoy when that happens. Moses with a kick. He missed from this spot just earlier, but he's got this one. When Paris scored the second try, and I said, I wonder if they can get a third before halftime, I was like, that won't happen. But I'll say it because that's an interesting thing for the rest of this half, and it'll get the interest maintained. They've gone and scored 2. How? You reckon AJ will break the record tomorrow? No. I kind of hope he does, though. Like, because what's their next game? Put it this way. I hope he scores 2 tries and the Roosters win 70 points to 8. Like, that's my dream. Because the game next week, it's in Gosford against the Tigers. That's like it would not be the same. After that one, they have a bye. Then it's against the Dogs at Accor Stadium. That would be very good. That would be a good crowd. But anyway. Yeah. I think almost, like, this wouldn't be a thing, but if you scored 1 tomorrow, up in that Gosford game, you'd almost be like, just don't score, bro. Just, like, if you get it, like if the game's on the line, score, fine. But, like, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. 70 to 8 would be a scoregami. There we go. Yeah, another reason why it would be great to have. Moses with a kick. So 2 minutes left to go in this half. There's a bit of confusion there at the back, but Walsh has got it. He'll break it in Perth, and that'll suck. I don't think it will last that long till Perth. Don't act like the Roosters aren't easy pickings. Dude, I just said I'm not that confident about winning tomorrow, but at all. So, yeah. But you're tipping a player to score 2 tries, and that's never a likely thing. So, 6 more there. Brisbane get it. So, they'll be able to see out most of the rest of this half. Still technically could lead at halftime. We'll see what they come up with in this set. How is that not a set restart? Well, that's the neat thing. It was. Have to rest him for Gosford? I don't think they would. I think they'd still want him out there. But yeah, it's a... Like, we saw Jared Croker rested a couple years ago so that his 300th game could be in Canberra. This is similar to that, but it's hard because you can't ever guarantee a try. So what if you rest him in Gosford so that he can play at Accor, but then he doesn't score at Accor anyway, so then it becomes pointless. Reynolds over the top to find Dean Mariner now. Angle back towards the middle of the field, and it's ruled a penalty. No, in fact, it's ruled forward. Change over. So he had space there, Dean Mariner, but pass ruled forward. 45 seconds left in the first half. Parramatta will see this one out. Logic tells me South will win, but I just think the Roosters own them too much. We do have a good recent record against South. That's a good point. Dean cheered 200 bits. Sorry, I missed that. Thoughts on the situation regarding Iran soccer team? I don't really know that much about it, to be honest. So it's hard for me to comment. Really? He scores 1 at Allianz and then tears his ACL in Gosford and ends his career. That's awful. That's actually awful. I did get a message from Hainsey earlier in the week when he saw that I was streaming tomorrow, and he said, Leaguie, what are you doing streaming on Friday? Get your ass to Allianz. I love him. I love him so much. But no, unfortunately, I couldn't go up there. Although, I was invited, technically, to be on Bloke in a Bar tomorrow, and the Packer Up Boys, that's forward there from Kotonga. And I said, no. I said, let's do it next week. I could have gone, but I'd committed to watching the game with you guys. And so, we'll leave it at that. Prime Carl Flanagan or current Wally Lewis? That's a diabolical question. Prime Carl Flanagan was actually good. There was a period through the start of 2020, Roosters sitting in the top 4. I will never forget the Roosters, sorry, the New South Wales Blues did a post that basically teased, could Carl Flanagan be an option for 7 for the Blues? Like, that was a real thing. That was a real conversation at that point. It's crazy when you go back and think about it. All right, so that's halftime. I still frankly can't believe that we're at this point. I find it very, very unusual, and I don't know ball. I don't know anything about rugby league at all. Oh, good evening, Madsen. Good to see you. Dean says, have you rizzed a goal this week? If you just got here, do yourself a favor, and then this is related to what Dean just said. Do yourself a favor. Go to the start of this stream when I first came on camera. That's a cool little story. Cool little story. You'll get the answer to that question. Predict what's going to happen in the second half. I still think Broncos win. I reckon Broncos will get a bit of a rocket up the arse here at halftime. And probably game ends, let's say 36-28. That's what I would guess. But, like I said, Para have shit posted 4 tries. Absolutely none of them have been with the run of play. And yet, here they are. So, what does momentum matter? What does it matter? That's the question. Ricky with the real questions. Saying, how by the grace of Buddha, Jesus, Allah, and Ganesh is we ahead? That I don't get. That I don't get. Tommy Turbo returning to his 2021 season form. All world peace. Damn. I mean, look, I do... As much as I value the lives of Ukrainian children, his form was just so good. Like, when you look at his stats, the tries per game, we've never seen anything like that. Anything like that. Alex Johnson's never done anything like that. So, I think I'm picking Turbo. I'm sorry, that one's gone through to the keeper. I think I'm picking Turbo. FYI, I'm not bothered rewinding the stream. That's fine. That's your prerogative. Absolutely your loss. I can confirm that nothing I'm going to come up with throughout this halftime break is going to be remotely as entertaining as what I said at the start of this stream. I peaked at that point. The stream itself peaked at that point, and it has and will continue to be simply downhill from there. It's not getting any better. Absolutely not getting any better. Has says, nah, world peace. There's 3 Trebojeviches. One's washed. The other's on the verge of CTE. Come on, Benny, pull through. Is that not more reason, though, to get him back to where he once was? Dean says, you blocked her and not invited her on the stream flip tables. There we go. Someone has rewound. Someone's gone back and looked. Breaking news. Buzz Rothfield has been rushed to NRL hospital after seeing the Broncos get attacked by the Eels 20-22. It's only half-time as well. It's only half-time. Is anyone else currently seeing a McDonald's Ricky Stewart ad? I cannot imagine what they had to pay him for him to be in that ad. He just seems like the kind of person who could not be even slightly bothered, and yet there he is in a Macca's ad. There he is in a Macca's ad. Marie, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Would you like to see the Trbojeviches convert to Serbia, and how would it affect European Rugby League? They said at one point early in their career that they were going to do that. And I remember being incredibly excited because at that point, it was... Jake was an established player. Tom was a young superstar. Ben wasn't really in the picture, but obviously went on to become an exciting player in his own right. It would help, but look, this is the thing. With the Rugby League World Cup cut down to the number of teams that it is, like, Rugby League's not going to be massively helped by Serbia having these 3 brilliant players and beating Ukraine by 70 points in a, Euro Cup game. Like, sure, it does something, but it doesn't do much. I find this easier to say maybe than if I were actually in this position. But I will just always play for my heritage in rugby league. And I'm an extremist. I'm an absolute extremist. You will not find anyone with more extreme views on international rugby league than me. I'm at one complete end of the spectrum. And yeah, I would just do everything I can to help the international game. So, yeah. But at this point in their careers, it wouldn't matter a heap. Would have mattered, as I say, if Serbia were a team who were in this World Cup, for instance. And you could have had those three playing for them. That would have been a brilliant story. Would have been very marketable. You would have got a lot of the Serbs that live here in Australia out to those games to see those guys play. Would have been awesome. But we won't have that. And we'll never have that for as long as we have 10 teams, unfortunately. Rugby says, Leaguie ruined a missed opportunity to find true love, but it was worth it 100%. Everyone else would have done the same. I'd have to say so. I would have to say so. So, you know, rest in peace to that romantic future. But I'm sorry, I had to witness Parramatta somehow beat the Broncos by 2 points in that first half. Lorenzo says, also the man you call the kid who's desperately tries to dox you, yeah, that's you, is here for the second half. Good stuff. Upawati has followed. Thank you for that follow over on Twitch. That's with two things showed up there. Okay, now it's just one. It's odd. Anyway. Well, hello, Lorenzo. I'm glad you're here for the second half. Madsen says, Karl Stefanovic would probably be the boss of Serbian Rugby League. Maybe. I don't really know. I mean, I know who he is, obviously, but I'm not really across. Is he into Rugby League, Karl Stefanovic? I wouldn't know. How to watch the game? It depends where you are, Hopawati. I mean, if you're in Australia, you can watch it for free on Channel 9 or 9 Now, the website. If you're not in Australia, to be fair, you can use the VPN and still watch it on 9 Now. So, yeah. Would you stream the first date? God, no, Dean. Oh, my days, bro. No, I would not. No, I don't think that would increase my chances of getting a second one if I were like, all right, chat, what do you think I should order? All right, chat, should I go in for the kiss at this point? Anyway. Well, Carl uses Denon's studio to record his new podcast. That I do know. Yes, I remember being very surprised one day, walking up to Bloke Studios and seeing, because it's this labyrinth there. And Denon's studio is right at the end of this corridor. So there's offices on either side. You just see the Bloke Studios at the end. And one day it just said the Karl Stefanovic show. And I'm like, what? Have they moved? Has Bloke Studios moved and they just haven't told me? Like, what's doing? But no. Yeah, they use Bloke Studios. What VPN do you use? I'm not going to say. Because, just in case a VPN ever does want to sponsor me, which is not impossible, I am a YouTuber, I want to be able to say, I've used this VPN since I was literally in the womb. Whatever VPN it is. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Is it the mountain one? We'll see. Depends whether NordVPN want to sponsor me. We'll see. Hopbody says, I'm new to this one, bro. I used to watch on Kick. Oh, okay. Yes, well, anyway, as I say, if you're in Australia, use 9Now. Just search it up, 9now.com.au, probably, and you'll find it. As it says, have an opportunity to see Ockenball's game-winning try versus the Titans in 2023. Or infinite wealth and prosperity for you and your family. Well, this is where you've got to value things, right? What's more important in life? Wealth and prosperity or happiness? Is wealth and prosperity not simply a means to happiness, but without a guarantee? Like, money doesn't necessarily make you happy. It's used to do so, but not necessarily. Whereas you view the other side of that ledger, and the opportunity to watch Jaden Ockenball's 2023 game-winning try against the Gold Coast Titans live, I feel is a 100% certain ironclad guarantee that you and your loved ones will forever be permanently in a state of eternal joy. So therefore, what you're essentially asking me is take a gamble or have a 100% guarantee. And brother, I'm taking that guarantee. I'm taking that guarantee every day of the week. EB says, this was dirty. Souths and Tigers agreed in 09 to boycott because they were a curtain raiser, but Rabbitohs showed up and kicked off to nobody. I know. I mentioned it to Rabbitohs fans A lot. One of their premierships is... it's really going to be interesting when a side does get within one comp of them, which I think will probably happen in the fullness of time. We'll see dynasties come and go. And the debate starts about, well, was that premiership legit? If I was say it was the Roosters who'd done it, my counter would be the club's so different back then. Obviously, like, everyone that's involved with that decision is now dead. I don't hold that against the current club, and therefore it doesn't really matter to me. But looking at that premiership tally, a part of me would certainly feel weird about the fact that one of the premierships was won based off a lie, based off deception, and a breach of trust. So I would feel weird about it in the back of my head. I just wouldn't show it at all. Madsen, I don't think Hectic Fred still streams the games on Kick. Thoughts on Tom Yeager? I love Tom Yeager. And actually, I'm going to be working a lot more with Tom Yeager in the coming weeks. So yeah, he's obviously a Roosters fan, so that's very cool. He did a East versus South like debate thing, which I'm trying to get on. I've proposed an idea to them, and well, NRL Roasty's going to take the idea to them. But he argued on behalf of Roosters fans, and I would have loved the chance to do that. I'm a very good debater. And watching the clip, like he did a very good job, and certainly in that position, like it's very hard to come up with the points. But there were a lot of points where I was like, I might have said that differently or whatever, or like would have brought up a slightly different point. But God, he did a brilliant job. And I love him, and I'm very happy for him to be representing my club on that kind of level. Very funny guy. Very funny guy. Hectic Fred is the Robin Hood. Well, yeah, this is tough for me to comment on because I love Hectic Fred as a creator. But I know if Robin Hood's how I'd describe it. Does he still do it? Because I don't have an issue with it, but he's sponsored by KO. Like, not that I'm trying to draw attention to that, but, you know. Anyway. Hectic Fred is so tough. He is brilliant. As I've said this before, he helped me out a lot back in the day. An event happened, and a lot of content creators were against me. I spoke out against some bigger content creators about the NRLW. Anyway, Fred behind the scenes was very, very kind to me in those times. So I've always appreciated him for that. Are you a master debater like Eric Cartman? Well, funny story, right? So you know Pornhub, yeah? Banned in Australia now. And on Reddit, I saw a thread, and someone said, we should go and as a form of protest, debate this outside of Parliament House to show our opposition to this. And I said, nah, bro, they did this to discourage public mass debating. I thought it was very, very funny. Personally, I hope that the delivery lived up to it. Anyway. Manson says, yes, and I did ask him. I received no reply. Right, okay. Well, whatever works for him. That's fine. I wish him all the best. That's all right. Is this why you use a VPN since it's banned? No, I've used a VPN for a lot longer than just that, so don't worry. Manchester 1828, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. All right, we're back out for the second half. Why would they ban that? I get to protect kids, but people have their needs and they need to be carried out. If you want to get into this debate, we can get into this debate. Because I think it's a very interesting balance you want to achieve between children's safety, those children who watch it, because frankly, the protections for that were nowhere near adequate before. You just have to click a button saying, yes, I'm 18, and you're in. So their well-being, their attitudes that they get from pornography, which are very, very troubling, very problematic, and I think are a massive part of contributing to the alpha male culture that is consistently growing among men. And then you also have protection of the people in that industry. It is a very exploitative industry. Excuse me. The actors, particularly the female actors, have countless stories of abuse, pressure, whatever, being pressured to do things they don't want to do. So there's all that on one side. Good on the government for protecting against that. However, I think there's another side about freedom of speech and freedom for adults to consume the content that they want to consume. And while I don't care deeply about the specific nature of that content, I do care about it from a freedom of speech perspective. So I don't really know where I stand on it. You should be the NRL's Media Watch. Winston Neville's been on Media Watch. Winston Neville has been on Media Watch. I watch Media Watch every week. Oh, they're playing I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty. Great song. Yeah, I've seen some people say I should be the NRL's Media Watch before, actually. One person photoshopped my head onto, what's his name? Linton Bess's body. It was very funny. Who's better, Bellamy or Robbo? Bellamy is. As it says, if a kid views CP, is it still CP or is it just porn? It is still CP. Absolutely. Madsen says, I miss Paul Barry. Linton Bess is all right. I agree. Linton does it his own way, and I think that's fine. It's a tough act to follow. Why does the clock still say half-time, by the way? NRL.com's timer hasn't updated, so that's the reason. Anyway, on the 4th here, Riley Smith up to the halfway line. After we've just debated freaking pornography, here we are. Okay, I think the timer is actually a little bit screwed here. Let me fix it up. On the last hit from me, just inside the 40, Moses kicks. Wasn't a bad first set there from Parramatta. Oh, it's bounced. Reece Walsh, he's come up with an error here, I think. I'm not actually sure what happened. I was setting up the timer. Let's see. Yes, it's come forward off Reece, and immediately he knew. Immediately he knew. That is not the start to the second half that he wanted. And Mitch Moses celebrates. Error there from Walsh. Terrible start from the Brisbane Broncos. Eels will be right on the attack here. Right on the attack. Rabbitohs fans cannot hang stuff on Storm fans about cheating to win premierships. Well, they can in terms of recency, to be fair. But yeah, you know. All right, Eels on the attack here. Smith goes to the left-hand side. Pezzett now finds his back rower there. Tui Vaiti. The clock should be fixing itself right now. I'm not sure why it's not. Smith across for Kitioni Katonga. Can we get a hat trick here from Kelma to Alangi? That would be absolute scenes. Absolute scenes. All right, across here now. Moses goes deep. They've got numbers here. Iongi. Dummies goes himself. Iongi's going to score. They have not failed to score in a single attacking opportunity in this game. And Para are in again. Mate. What? What? Where? How? Where has this come from? This is silly. This is stupid. I don't get it. I don't understand rugby league and how it operates, all right? Because I was so certain with the way that this game went, when it was like 20 points to 6, I'm like, Brisbane are going to absolutely put on a score here. I didn't say it, but I was like, they're going to put on a score here. And yet, Parramatta have just scored at every single opportunity. This is concerning for Brisbane. It's early in the season, and frankly, I said this in my video, I think it's fatigue defense. I think it's fatigue, and they are just missing those tackles left, right, and center. Missing it left, right, and center. All right, I'm sorting out this clock. What do you mean halftime? It is not halftime. Sorry, it's trying to figure it out. Anyway, let's see here, Iongi. Yeah, he's definitely got the ball down. So nothing wrong with that. I don't think we've seen try confirm just yet, but yeah, there's no issue with it. It's just one-on-one misses. Very simple one-on-one misses, which is really not what you expect from a side as drilled as the Brisbane Broncos. That was an amazing try for the Eels. I agree. Noah, I think there's a good argument for Bellamy being the most consistent coach ever. Yeah, absolutely there is. All right, from the sideline here, Mitchell Moses hits it, and he hangs out to the left. So that is one department where they sort of missed Zach Lomax. He was obviously a very, very good goal kicker. But Para do have that lead now. 6 points, the margin. I'm setting up the clock from scratch here because I don't know why it's just decided not to work at halftime. Thoughts on Zach Lomax? I mean, I hope he's back in Rugby League one day. The time is working now. Good. I hope he's back in Rugby League one day. I don't think he's a massive loss to the game. Like, he's a very good player, but we're able to live without him. I'm glad that he's not playing for Melbourne. I think it would have been a really, really bad look if he did. And I like the fact that now that he's over there, every time he's going to be spoken about by NRL media, he's going to be referred to as a Leaguie. And that's good marketing for me. So that's really all I care about. All right, we've got a Bronco down here. I think it's Ben Tolte. Yes, it is Ben Tolte. Still down there. We have stopped play now. Should Paolo start kicking for Parra? Look, the kicking's not been terrible. Yeah, one of the ones that Moses missed was bad. That last one wasn't the worst. Oh, hate clash there, Tolte, I think, on All Blacks Salfa. Netherlands international, by the way, has played rugby union for the Netherlands, All Blacks Salfa. Very exciting from a Netherlands Rugby League perspective that he could end up playing for us. Noah says, who'd win Melbourne versus Rooster grand final? If Melbourne and the Roosters played a grand final tomorrow, I think Melbourne win. Without that much trouble, to be honest. However, by the end of this season, I think that could be a very different story. So Corey Jensen comes on the field in place of Ben Tolte there. Unlucky for the interchange forward. The clock, yeah, it's back. It's fine, right? Nothing wrong with it. Ricky says, if we win, can I have permission to spam, that's my team, that's my team? Only when the theme song's playing on the outro. Reese Oobleck Walsh is rock solid when applied pressure, but collapses with none. It's an interesting thought. Where's Oobleck come from, though? Is that a word I don't know? Catch there by Karapani. They've really picked him out, certainly as the winger that they're targeting throughout this game. He's done well, though. He's done well under the pressure. Welcome to the Leaguie stream. Today's subject's first half pornography, second half. Yeah, look, we talk about weird things. To be fair, like, it's not... It's a freedom of speech issue, as I said. Oh, man, now at a dummy half. Gives it at the back to find Walsh down the sideline. That's good cover defense there from Iongi. That's great work. Sorry, I had to grab this. But it was great work from man there to identify the space in behind and then get the offload to Walsh. That's eyes up footy, and they need a bit of that. And they're only 6 down, but they feel like they're in a little bit of a hole. That's what it looks like. Noah says, you know what I love about your commentary? You're biased, but it's also truthful. There's no point me lying. I am who I am. Reynolds, on the last here, does get an offload away eventually to man. We'll put a kick in behind. It's being chased here. Oh my god, that... Look. Again... Maybe I'm para-focused, but that play broke down. They had that covered. How do you score off a regulation kick in behind there? I'm sorry. They did well there, especially Iongi, to stop that line break, right? That was good tackle there on Reece Walsh. However, how do you let them score when the halfback has run into about 3 different dead ends on that last play? You get an offload there. Just a simple kick in behind there. That's poor work. That's poor work. The chase around O'Carl was barely there. Tries galore tonight. The goal line defense from both sides has been awful.
Roman Jerome just redeemed head dent check.
Head dent check it is. It's not really... I don't know. I've got a weird sticky up bit tonight. I made the mistake of having a late shower. And therefore my hair just doesn't... It's not sticking up at the moment. So it's disappointing. Just Google Oobleck. Safer work, don't worry. It's a non-Newtonian fluid, if that helps. A non-Newtonian fluid. What? Oobleck. Oobleck is a non-Newtonian fluid made by mixing 2 parts cornstarch with 1 part water, acting simultaneously as a solid and a liquid. It feels solid when compressed and flows like a liquid when pressure is released. It is a safe, non-toxic, and easy to make sensory educational substance. I don't know how the hell I never came across that at school. That sounds like the most solid chemistry experiment you could ever do in a classroom. Reynolds with his kick here to get us back on level terms. And of course, he does. Ice cold there from Adam Reynolds, the veteran. And he gets us up to 26 points apiece. How are you in front but still pathetic? Well, neither side's in front now, but I don't think either side has played well. It's been an absolute tri-fest. Thoughts on mushrooms? Big mushroom fan. Bought a bunch of mushrooms today. Prefer the regular kind, though, compared to the magic kind. Rugby League should be big in Italy, says Masonic. As far as I'm concerned, Rugby League should be big everywhere. Why not? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. This is going to be 44-40 all over again. Look, it could be at this rate. At this rate, it could be. Did Leaguie even go to school? Bro has missed out on this peak school experience. Leaguie should make Oobleck on stream. Maybe I should, actually. I'm very curious now. It seems... I can't imagine what that would be like. I don't know, we did Bunsen burners and that. We burned chemicals and they were like different colors. And I was like, ooh, yay, diversity. That was nice. That's how I became a work lefty. True story. One of the premier players in our game is Italian. Well, yeah, but not, I mean, like, kind of. He's born and raised in Campsie, I think. Somewhere in Western Sydney. I'm a Shire boy. It's all the same. It's all the same. So it's not like he's born in Bologna and has managed to find his way through sailing on a boat to Concord or anything like that. All you need is 1 part water and 2 parts cornstarch. I thought it said the opposite. Don't want to make bad oobleck. You do not want to do that. That's dangerous. Zia Loczynski, sorry, says, kids with autism used oobleck allegedly. I wouldn't know. Same, brah. Same, straight up. Although I did make a little short recently that heavily implied that I have autism, which I was like really nervous about releasing because I thought this could be interpreted the wrong way, and I'm glad it seemingly wasn't, but it was kind of problematic. Anyway, is what it is. At a dummy half here, Riley Smith. That's a good run there from the hooker, and draws a penalty. I think it's going to be back where the ball was initially played, as the two sides have come together here. Let's have a look here. Luella says, League, you want to know a crazy story about an incident with a Bunsen burner at the school I used to go to? Sure, yes I do. It was a kick there from All Blacks staffer, yeah, and Dylan Walker wasn't happy about it. And it's just unnecessary from All Blacks there. Thoughts on Kalen Ponga? Yeah, so he's now officially a Kiwi. Good for the game of rugby league. Do I think that a massive part of it is that he wasn't going to be picked over Walsh, Chetty, or Edwards? Yes. However, I can only really go off what he said, and I do want to afford him the benefit of the doubt that he has felt this change in allegiance. He has played for the Māori All-Stars before. Relebame Lepia. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Yeah, I wish... Yeah, I believe it a bit more if he regularly featured for the Māori All-Stars, but anyway, I can understand with his concussion history why they don't want him playing in that game, although, you know, obviously I've said my piece about that, so... Yeah. Is Big Daddy Gagai Kiwi? He would be eligible for them. Yeah, knock on there from Peasant. We'll say that there haven't been many knock-ons by the two sides. It's just been poor goal line defense, so that's a rare one there. EB says, imagine if Junior Pong is the reason Alex Johnson breaks the record. Bro, that's not far-fetched. That's not far-fetched by any means. I shaved today. You can really see like a residual mow. That's weird. Maybe it's the bad lighting. Pong is a Kiwi. I knew he was a bit of a fruit, but that's extreme. That's... Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Carrigan. Oh, I thought it was going to go out the back to man there. Did a dummy. Went through. So one more to go here for Brisbane. Oh, Connor's watching from Scotland. Whereabouts in Scotland? I know a lot of Scottish football teams, so there's a good chance I will know your town. Or city. I definitely know your city if it's a city. All right, knock back there from the Broncos. We've got a whistle here. It's going to be a penalty for Para. See, offside. So it's sort of coming apart here for Brisbane. Current Peasant or current Clive Churchill? Does current Clive Churchill have prep time? Thoughts on Big Yahoo? Not a big fan of my boy Big Yahoo. I've always thought it's a nice, not a nice, but an interesting dichotomy that a guy who's this, you know, genocidal leader has this disarming little phrase at the end of his name, like Yahoo. It's just, it's like if Hitler was called Adolf Hitlippy. It's I'd feel weird about that. I would, and I do. So yeah, that's my thoughts. That's the kind of thing that keeps me up at night. Yeah. All right, Williams with the run up over the 40 here. The Kuma local. Riley Smith out of dummy half now finds Matt Dury. So a player who is regarded to have had a very good offseason for Parramatta. Now with Pezzett on the last, goes deep to find Moses. Will go through the hands. Iongi, that ball has come free. I think it's knocked down by Mam. And then Mam has knocked it on into Moses. So this should be Parra ball, and it is. Parramatta will get an attacky set. It's like Super Mario style. That it is. Danny says, my old school got its entire science block set on fire by a Bunsen burner. Old school. What? Has Luella said her story? Or have I just missed it? I feel I've just missed it. Zialochinsky earlier said, do you pirate any uni books? No, I don't read. It's not true. I read a little bit, but I don't do my uni readings because after first year, like in my first semester at uni, I didn't do them. Like kind of inadvertently. Because I was like kind of partying, basically. And then I did very well that first semester, and I was like, oh, wait, I don't need to do any of the readings, and I'll be fine. Parra have got a penalty, and they're going to take the two from in front, so they'll take the lead here. Yeah, and I'm in 5th year now. Barely done a reading since. Just learned the lecture slides. That's enough. Connor says, Murrayfield, but I feel like I'm cheating. Why do you feel like you're cheating? I don't know Murrayfield, actually. I thought isn't there a Murrayfield Stadium? But I think that's in America. Murrayfield Stadium. Oh, no, it's in Edinburgh. Scottish Gas Murrayfield Stadium. Yeah, I remember that because I played Football Manager and managed in Scotland, and I played some games there. Here we go. So Luella, while Moses is taking this kick, and he will get it, so I'm not even concerned here. Bang. Luella says, basically, a kid somehow managed to sneak a Bunsen burner out of a science lab, and they lit and put it in one of the students' lockers. Hang on, I've completely... What's the score like? 28. We'll go with that. Put it in one of the students' lockers, and now there's just a section of lockers that are melted. Wow. I mean, like, did anything else burn, or did the lockers just melt? Wait, how does that make sense? Because you still have to have the Bunsen burner connected to gas. Don't you? At least the ones at my school, you had to connect to a gas pipe. So, how did they manage to do that? Logistical questions need answering. EB says, where did you learn your English if you were raised in the Netherlands? I don't. This is actually live AI translation. Okay, I was going to go on with that joke. It wasn't a very... Yeah, we'll leave that at that. Well, I went to an international school. My whole education was in English. We had to do Dutch lessons for sure, but no, my school was English, so... Yeah. Masonic, I have no idea who owns Murrayfield. Connor says, I know this is a league channel, but do you ever watch Union, or are you exclusively a league purist? What about AFL? I am exclusively a league purist. It's not that I necessarily dislike Union as a sport. It's probably... I mean, given how much I like league, I'd probably really enjoy watching Union. But I would never naturally watch Union over league, given the choice. And there's always the choice to watch league. So I just don't find myself watching Union. What happened to Haas? I don't know. What did happen to Haas? They haven't said anything in the commentary, so I know as much as you. Leaguie, should I storm the field tomorrow? Asks Bray. I'm not saying you should, but it would be really cool to see that happen. I am pronouncing that. I'm sorry. I tried to read out all of the new followers on Twitch. Ain't no chance I'm giving that one a go. Sorry, that is a cat walking across the keyboard as far as I'm concerned. All right, back inside. Now, so Haas is there. Haas is there. It's fine. Totti pass HI. Yes, he did. Good. Kicking behind. No way do they score off another one of those. And they did very well to get that over in the field of play rather than to be a 20-meter restart and a 7-tackle set. That went all right there from Benny Hunt. Harp Drinker says the union culture in Ireland and Oz, from what I've heard, is very private school-oriented. Shame because it's a great game. It certainly is in Australia. There's not much union culture here. And yeah, it is focused in upper-class secondary schools and primary schools and universities. And that's basically it. Big Apple, thank you for the follow. We've had a lot over on Twitch today. Yeah, I'm very resistant to seeing any rugby union growth in Australia purely because having grown up overseas, I know for a fact that this is the only country in the world, aside from Papua New Guinea. I mean, yeah, that matters, sure, but you know, we're talking about the major, you know, economies and stuff. It's the only major economy where rugby league is dominant, and I don't want to see that change. Penalty here for Para over the horizontal, that tackle. That's dangerous, and Moses is complaining. However, yeah, I think Union, in a perfect world where league's also big everywhere else, Union probably should be doing better here. Thoughts on new Roosters assistant coach Michael Checker? I'm very excited that a guy with that expertise is at the club. Yeah, that wasn't great from Stags. Look, I think on report that's fair. I wouldn't sin bin him for it. Yeah, he shakes Peasant's hand. That's nice. I think that's a good call. Up the Milk says, oh, Leaguie, by the way, I got a grand final. I not like what the Storm and Broncos did last year. Oh, girlfriend. I got a girlfriend. Sorry, I initially wasn't aware what that was. Game's gone, bring on 2027. Yeah, okay, a bit of a biased Bronco over here. If Eels lose, I'm finding the closest Broncos fan and making them a paraplegic. That's out. Hey, you do you. I ain't encouraging illegal activities, though. Peasant for DeBellin across to find Moses. Oh, that was nearly intercepted. The way that play was forced there by Para was a little bit of a worry. That really wasn't on. What's this? Have they said, Para, that's on you? Prime Matt Lodge or current Andrew Johns? In what? Are we talking like 13 Lodges versus 13 Andrew Johnses? Girlfriend, you were initially unsure of what that was. I still am. Well, there we go. I got it. Solidarity, brother. Solidarity. Now, will be Paraball. They've definitely been able to turn around this way to possession here. Riley Smith now across to find Moses. Underneath Dury. That was well read there by Benny Hunt. Yeah, it is on Para. I want them to lose. Well, evidently it is not on Para. 6 more there. Intentionally given away, I would think, by the Brisbane Broncos off the back of that scrum. Portable Bunsons exist. Okay, well, there we go. That'd be why that was able to work then. Kalma, who's already scored 2 tries, doesn't score a third there. They've got 4 more left here. The Eels. That play the ball's taking 3 to 5 business days. Smith across to find Moses. Out the back. Junior Polo, well read there by Ricky. Doesn't get an offload away. That ball nearly came to ground there. That was great work there from Jordan Ricky on a bigger player. Smith now for Peasant. They're going to attack the left-hand side. Short ball there, Moses. Great tackle there. Sags has got it. He's clear. Moses is chasing. I reckon he might go the length here. Adokar's got him. Adokar's got him up on the 40 there. That's good work. Will Adokar hold him down? No, he will not. Releases. He does well there. He could have got Sinbin. They're going to shift it across. Hunt now with Mam. They've got numbers out there. Stepping back in the middle of the field. Doesn't get an offload away. So Parrot survived that. Costly intercept though. Could have gone either way, that one. Hunt now gives it to Walsh. On only the first. He kicks for himself. There's no one home. Oh, he's magical. Oh, he's magical.
He's Houdini. Put him in the circus. Put him somewhere. He's too good for this game.
He's too good for this game, bro, sometimes. That's one. That is one for the highlights reels. That is. Walsh on the first. And look, I absolutely screamed my ass off at Sam Walker last week for that not coming off. And I would have absolutely screamed my ass off at Reece Walsh if that hadn't come off there. But it did. And God, it looked beautiful. God, it looked beautiful. That was hot. That was hot. So Walsh gets it, and on the first chip over the top, I realizes there's no fullback at home. That one I can forgive a Youngie for. It's off the back of a line break, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful work. Masonic says, is the Rugby League World Cup more competitive than Union? No, it is not. It's a lot more competitive than it's ever been, but it's not more competitive than Union. Games back, bring on 2026. Yeah, fickle Broncos fans. Hey, fickle Broncos fans. Not surprised, Matt. Not surprised. As I said before, Reese Oobleck Walsh. That's it. I love that theory. I love the theory that he's the Oobleck. It's such a weird concept. I still can't get my head around how something can be solid under pressure and liquid not under pressure. But yeah. Shut up, Roosters are worse. For bandwagoners? Nah, bro, we don't even have bandwagoners. Even when we're doing well, everyone still hates us. Kick there from Reynolds. He's got it. They'll lead here by 4 points. 17 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in this game. Hell of a lot of time left. Hell of a lot of time left. What a massive scoring play there's been. Iconic says, Walsh is the best player in this competition when playing like this. So we'll just forget the first hour. Well, look, I like Cooper Cronk as a player. That's a quote from Cooper Cronk, by the way. I like Cronk as a player. However, personally, he does come up with some lines that are a little bit facepalm. Like, yeah, when Walsh does something incredible like that, he's the best player in the competition. Guess what? When Drew Clutcherson does something like that, he's also the best player in the competition. That's not really to do with the player, that's to do with the action. But yeah, sure, we'll go with that. You could substitute that name for anyone. Connor says, why do you think league's so much more popular in the north of England and Australia and surrounding countries? Do you think it's the class difference since creation, or do you think it's something else? I was thinking class before I even read that in your comment. I firmly think it's a class thing. And cultures. Like, Union is culturally entrenched in the south of England, and that dictates a lot of wider culture. Look how culturally influential London is, in ways that St. Helens and Wigan and all that, I mean, obviously much smaller cities, obviously aren't. Even in the North, League is still kept out of the big cities. So, yeah, but it's found its way to Australia, but League at the same time has had many, many instances of shooting itself in the foot. And other options other times where it has been shot in the foot. I would highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, a mini documentary that I made recently about rugby league under Nazi Germany. It was very, very quickly becoming bigger than French rugby union. And union officials sidled up to the incoming Nazi government and made it illegal. That's the TLDR. It was more technical than that, but I go over it in the video. So highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. But yeah. Sort of a few reasons why. On the last here, Peasant now with the ball. We'll kick on the last. So there's been a bit more Peasant in the second half, kicking on the last. Moses underneath that. Walsh drops it. Is it forward? It is. We haven't had a challenge yet in this game. Doesn't look like they'll challenge this one. Tiger says this is going to be a crazy high-scoring game. I think it will be. I think it will be. Let's see here. Walshy. He's gone up for the jump there. Yeah, he's hurt his knee. He's hurt his knee there a little bit, Reese. I think he'll be all right. It doesn't look too bad. But we'll see. Rugby League in Nazi Germany, they still called tries. They just pointed upwards. Diabolical joke. Diabolical. Iconic says, again, Walsh is the best player in the competition when he's playing like this. Yeah, it's what it is. Moses now with it. Goes deep, finds Iongi. They spread it out here for Jordan Samarani. Shibasaki gets that tackle done. Excuse me. On the first, so we got a bit of a view of Jordan Samarani there. Bit more than I'd normally like to see. Let's put it that way. De Silva in a dummy half gives it to Moses. Out the back now for Peasant. Yeah, does well not to pass that there. The Broncos defense had come in at an angle to really shut down the momentum of that play. De Silva goes to Polo. They do ball play. Oh, and that's come well up in the air. Mam has got it and knocked it on. It's going to be a double, though. It's going to be a double knock on. Knock on Broncos. Surely we get our first challenge of the game here. I'd be very surprised if they don't challenge this. Let's see here. Dory. Oh, no. Okay, I guess that's real backwards. Yeah. We didn't really get the right angle on that, but I thought it came sort of up in the air and a bit forwardy. But anyway, there we go. Cooked footy, you could have challenged that. And so clearly the Broncos agree with that decision. All right, Paulo, back to find Moses. Oh, it's 2-on-1. Ball's come down. They've still got it here, the Eels, and done well to find the ground there. Now a penalty. Parramatta get it, and they're going to say repack the scrum. That was nearly a try. The 2-on-1, if that hadn't been knocked down there, I think it was by Karapani, would have been trouble. Dean, I can't read all that. That's the most Reddit title I think I've ever seen. Yeah, look, Zia Loshinsky. I have a pretty dark sense of humor. And I think, I'll defend this a lot. I think it's one of the most beautiful human characteristics to find comedy in something that's objectively terrible. Say the same with 9/11 jokes. I think that's a beautiful human trait. And so I support things like that. Anyway, Eels with a full attacking set here and an opportunity to tie up the game and potentially reclaim their lead. De Silva out back to find Jonah Pezzett. We'll put a kicker behind here to find the Fox. Ball's free there. Geez, they might have scored this. Russell's celebrating. He had no space to work in here. Absolutely no space. And it's ruled a try. We're level. Mate, I do not regret the decision that I spoke about at the start of this stream. Let's put it that way. I want to see this. It looked like he had no space to work with. Kick in behind it from Pezzett. Fox chased it. It kind of beat everyone. I thought Fox would get it there. He doesn't. He picks it up. This is the most bizarre finish here. If Russell has got this down. Let's see here. Picks it up. Yeah, he's done that. My word, he does. Absolutely. The speed of picking up that ball, he would have had players bearing down at him to tackle him out. Holds it. Look at that. That's beautiful work. Big up George Russell. I always call him George Russell, accidentally. Haven't done that today, unintentionally, though. Defense is optional, our game. Bro, it's 32-all. What the hell, man? What the bollocks? Cooked Footy says, League, should I break my own record for the record speed over the Mooney Bridge? You said 800 kilometers an hour? I don't believe you. That seems physically impossible. That seems physically impossible. To be fair, as I don't really blame Walsh for that. There was not a reasonable expectation of a kick in behind there, in my opinion. Got this weird sticky up bit of my hair today. Did you see Iran hired Sam Allardyce as interim manager? He'll save them from the drop. He'll save them from the bombs dropping, that's for sure. We're waiting on a confirmation here. Although Tiger has already said in the chat it's confirmed. You're way ahead of me if you've seen this be confirmed. Now I've seen it confirmed. John says, oh my goodness, who writes these scripts, Rugby League, you beautiful thing? On a Thursday night, which I thought was going to be a little bit of a stinker, I thought we'd see Broncos domination. Para have the chance to kick here for the lead. Will he miss it? He hates it. He's got it. Para lead by 2. What is this game, bro? What is this game? Zialochinsky has said this document is given is a family document of getting our money back from the Germans who stole it from my great-grandparents. I'm looking at it now. I mean, I'm glad it's very redacted. I'm glad your family got the money back. But yeah, for the record, I'm aware that atrocities happened. I'm not denying that by any means. However, as I say, I think it's a beautiful human trait to find laughter and a little bit of happiness. I think it's a very valid coping mechanism when dealing with objectively horrible things. So I find personally that people don't have the right to deny other people that coping mechanism. That's my opinion. All right. DeBellin with a run here. God, that momentum track, I still don't know how it works, but regardless, it's really swung. It's really swung from the start of the game. But Sonic, I don't really know enough about Union to be able to give any reasonable analysis on that, unfortunately. I think I know maybe 3 Rugby Union players that aren't ex-Rugby League players. Anyway, we've got a kick there from Para. Underneath this one is Walshy. He's got it. Passes across now to find Dean Mariner. Tries to beat them initially on the outside with speed, but is tackled there well by Pezza and Polo. It's Fox's new AI. No, I'm aware. I'd like to know what's gone into that to get that output, basically. Imagine we have 44-40 again. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. 2 converted tries to Brisbane, 1 for Para. There's a world where that happens. Cooked footy, that... No. Nuh-uh. There's no way you did that. What are we talking? A remote control car? I know how speed works. There's no way you did that. Oh, yeah, Dean, bro. Just come here. Come here. It's all good. All right. Run there by Russell. Geez, 72% possession, Para second half. That's incredible. That's incredible. My voice is starting to go. My throat's going. Has Adokar scored yet? No, I do not believe he has. No, he definitely has not. All right, across now for Samurai. No, for Simonson. Simonson. Is it too late to reevaluate my choice to support Broncos? Only if you reevaluate it so that you support the Roosters instead. Yes. Then it's fine. Otherwise, no. You cannot do it. I will not allow you to. Walker at the back to find Moses. Will kick on the last inside the 40. He's kicked for length. He hasn't tried for a 40-20. It probably wouldn't have worked anyway. They would have seen it coming. I did. No, I did not. No, I did not. Good tackle there from DeBellin. So they're going to play it shy of their 30 to start this set. Shibasaki now. Hasn't had the best start to the year in his 2 games so far, Shibasaki, but hasn't been terrible. Oh, jeez. Walker and Paolo right up there on poor little Corey Jensen. That was a big hit. Haas now. So Para are really into this with the physicality of it towards the back end of this game. Carrigan with it. Dummies is tackled there shy of the halfway line. Clock ticking down. 8 minutes left. Broncos kind of need to be making more of an imprint than this. Walsh puts a kick up, and it's going to be chased through. Not really substantially, though. Iongi underneath it. Jeez, it went a bit rough on him at the end, but he's got that one done. All right, cook footy. All right. Thoughts on losing to the Eels? Well, I wouldn't know. If you're not, I mean, I don't count the trial, to be fair. But yeah. Where do you watch Super League, Big Dylan? I watch highlights on YouTube. I don't have the time, unfortunately, to watch the Super League regularly. I wish I did. And if I end up one day doing the Leaguie full-time, then I will watch Super League. Full-time, 100%. But unfortunately, at the moment, I can't. Sorry, I've seen you say that a few times. I admire it. I love Lachlan Lewis as well. He had great moments back in the day. All right, kick way up over the top. Underneath it is Walshy. He's beat one there, but Simonson gets him eventually. Sideline beckoning. He still gets up. No, we'll just play it there. Bad Toyota. Thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Now, Karapani with a run. Again, now, by the end of this set, there's only going to be 6 minutes left. Can't really afford to just hit it up. It's not desperation station just yet. Oh, Haas. You don't see him get hit like that much. But he was. Hunt had a dummy half. Quick play the ball. Gets it to Carrigan. How was that still a quick play the ball when he was put on his Payne Haas? Anyway, is what it is. Yeah, Cooked Footy. Have fun with that. Have fun with that. We'll see. Oh, nice little play there. Ricky gets an offload away. It's 2-on-1 here. Stags. Adokar messes him all ends up. Gets it out to the wing of Dean Mariner. Now Adokar's back in the picture. Fence away from one. Jeez, he did well there. It was nearly 1-on-1 with a fullback. One more to go here. Will they spread it? This might be the best attacking chance that they're going to have. Man puts a kick in for himself. Was he taken out? No, he wasn't. Iongi's got it. Will he escape from the in-goal? He beats Ezra. He finds the ground. Willison's trying to fling him back in. Iongi has done very, very well there. Very well. Man looks hurt. And a game where Iongi's had a couple of poor moments, they're now absolutely rucking it out of their own end here. They can't make ground at all. We've got a Parramatta player down here from the contact. Moses is barking away. Let's see here. We've got the clock stopped. That was great work from Yongi. Great work. Jack Williams is defending both wings, apparently, and is a front rower. He's a front rower. Connor says, as someone less versed in league, why do they keep kicking to no one? Well, that one was on the last tackle anyway, so you have to put a kick in. But yeah, he thought he was kicking for himself. He thought it was kicking for himself. Oh, is Reynolds down as well? Yikes. Reynolds down. And this does look bad. Adam Reynolds has a poor injury history. He's holding that rib. And, you know, there has to be concerns there. They played the Sydney Roosters in round 9. So you gotta think about things like that. You don't want to see him out for a clash like that. Might be a 7-week injury. We'll see. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, aren't I? Little bit ahead of myself. Reynolds is going to come off the field here. Yeah, this is terrible. He seems to be in some pain. I don't know anything about injuries, really. I don't know if this is something that could be months or something where you can manage it. But I know with a player who's 36... Is he 36 or 35 years of age? Adam Reynolds. I think he's only 35. Yeah, 35. Turns 36 in July. It's always a concern. Always a concern. Connor says, kind of wonder why that happens, actually. They both seem pretty physical. Oh, more... have to say I see way more head injuries in league compared to Union. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I don't know enough about the Union side of things to be able to comment. I don't think I've watched a game of rugby union since the World Cup in, like, I don't know, 2018 or 19, around about then. That's honestly the last game of rugby union I've ever watched, so. All right. So they're going to make about 20 meters off this set here. This is the defensive set that Brisbane needed. You can attack with your defense. Moses will kick, and he just goes length. And I tell you what, it's a good kick. Caught on the fall there by Walsh. Ideally, he would have wanted to find the ground. But anyway, Walsh gets it up to the 40. Yeah, they've got the field position that they need. One very key thing about Reynolds coming off the field is that 2-point field goal Reynolds is no longer there. That really would have been an option. Walsh can kick him, though. Walsh can kick him. So it's not the end of the world, but that is a big thing. There we go. Ricky says 3 to 6 weeks for bruised ribs, 6 to 12 for fractured or broken ribs. So if it is fractured or broken, then actually my kind of joke about the Roosters could well come true. Oh, knock on there, Ben Hunt. That's costly. That is very costly. They're only going to have a couple more sets here. It's getting real on the Broncos very, very quickly. Connor, I just watch. I do not have the toughness to play league. Played there by Russell. Out the back here to find Adokar. What's going on with my team, man? I don't know. I don't know. Least favorite sport in the Olympics? Hurling? I don't know. That's just the first one that's come to mind. Well, curling, is it? Isn't hurling when you throw up? It's one of those. Anyway, Simonson, that was a great run. De Silva had a dummy half. Shibasaki does well not to engage until he's onside. Quick play of the ball. That was almost a ball playing area. But anyway, they've gone ahead with that. Walker now. Plays it. They might score here. There's space in behind. Oh, jeez. What a set that was from them. They've literally made Broncos come off their line here with less than 4 minutes left to go. That's a great run, though, from Mariner. That worked really, really well for Para. Eels fans, start believing. Start believing. Can we get Papa Leaguie on the phone for his thoughts on this game? Nah, I've told him only Roosters games. I don't want him worried. He might not even be watching this. So, yeah. That's rude, Lorenzo. All right. Mam now with a run. He gets up over the 40, but this is the last. They won't really fire a shot on this play. Hunt. They are going to try and go through the hands. Walsh finds Staggs, knocks it on. Fox is there! Fox has got it! Does he have the speed? He gets past Hunt. Does not have the speed. I tell you what, that would have been game if he'd gone the length. That was not long-term thinking. And I know there's not a lot of time left in this game, but they could have put a kick in there and tried to get Parramatta down that end, attacked with their defense, and then had one last attacking set in good field position. They now will not have that. Parramatta will turn the ball over on the Broncos line. I wonder if Adam Reynolds might have made the different decision there. I wonder if he would have. De Silva now will find Moses underneath for Kelma Tuolangi, the man with 2 tries for Parramatta today. He has those performances in him. Now Dylan Walker goes himself, doesn't do the notorious Dylan Walker midfield pass. 2 more to go here. Held in the tackle, and it's 6 more, and that's huge. That's huge. They can soak up yet another minute here. They're gonna turn this ball over, with Brisbane having to go the length of the field in the space of about 1 minute. De Silva now. They should just be hitting this up. Don't even try anything. Yeah, Junior Barlow just takes the ground there. Oh, and he's taking a little while to get up and play this one. De Silva now to find Dylan Walker. There's a bit of space there and behind the rock. Jeez, he wasn't a million miles away from scoring there. Got to be honest. We needed Tuolangi hat-trick. Would be nice, but I think I wouldn't be going for that if I was them. De Silva goes himself. Jeez, he's even closer. He's even closer. Doesn't quite get there, though. Williams at the back. Finds Pezzett. Goes one way, then the other. Oh, kicking behind for himself. This is odd. He might score here. I think he has. And I think Parramatta have just won this game. As he kicks it into the stand, the young 5'8" has won Parramatta this unlikely game. Wow. I tell you what, that was how football's played. He got the ball. He saw that the side that he was going to go to, the Broncos defenders run up, got them tight, so there was nothing on there. Went back the other way, saw a bit of a space behind the rock, kicked it for himself. There were collisions left, right, and center. No Broncos chasing around the back. Walsh was out of play completely. He'd taken the dummy completely there from Pezzett. Jeez, and him just jogging back in. I don't know about that. I would have wanted... I know it's late in the game, but still, show a jersey. Sprint back towards it. He was just jogging back towards that ball. Ricky doesn't get it. Pezzett there finds the ground. No one's around. Junior scores. That's game, folks. That's game. Someone get Vossi a strepsil? Mate, I need a strepsil, bro. My throat's gone. And this is after 1 game. It's going to be rough. Cooked Footy not even showing the loyalty to his team, his premiership winning team, to watch until the end of the game. He can't even show them 52 seconds of respect. You'd never catch me doing that, let's just say that. Especially to go and watch AFL, bruh. You never catch me doing that. Yeah, thanks for that reminder, Iconic. It doesn't get easier. They have Melbourne in Melbourne next. Damn. Oh, I said, this game was going to be... I said in my latest video, this game is very important if Broncos don't want to start the Premiership defense 0-3. That's what they're looking at. And to be fair, I think the Roosters are looking at that as well, just quietly. But anyway. Moses will kick from right in front. He's just watching the clock tick on down. Will he watch it tick to 0? Can he watch it tick to 0? I don't know what he's allowed to do. Yep. And now he goes. He soaked up all the time he could. Gets the kick. 40 points to 32. And folks, that's it. That's all she wrote. Wowzers. You score 32 points, you still don't win the game. What a comeback it was in that first half of Parramatta to lead 22-20 at the halftime break. It was incredible. It was incredible. 3 tries to 1 to start off this game. In fact, yes, no, it was. It was. Para had nothing. Absolutely nothing. They scored off 1 fluky try to Kelma Tuolangi. That was more than a quarter into this game. Somehow they got it done in the end, and that's a... Look, it's not in the territory maybe of a famous win for the Parramatta Eels, but I tell you what, it's a good one. It's a very, very good one. Can you play the Eel song? I will. I will. All right. I will leave it there. We'll be back tomorrow night for Roosters versus Rabbitohs. I'll be wearing my Roosters kit. We'll have Roosters colors in the background. It should be good. It'll be fun. You probably, I think in all likelihood, you're going to get the opportunity to watch me get very, very sad over the course of a roughly 2-hour period. And that's depressing, frankly, that entire notion. But anyway, is what it is. Until then, thank you guys for being here. Thank you all for hanging out. and it's the Parramatta Eels song. We'll see you off. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.